Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So in the last few months, I have really been into Lactonic type of fragrances. This wasn't really anything that I gravitated towards in the past, but somehow in the last few months, I've really been enjoying using Lactonic, Milky type of fragrances. And today I wanted to share with you my favorites. And let's start with the one that I think kind of originated this whole obsession. A fragrance that has been hyped up quite a bit in the last, half a year or so. And at first I kind of ignored it. I don't know, it just didn't catch my attention. And then it sort of resonated with me and I thought, I'm really curious about this one. I want to try it. This didn't feel like a safe blind buy. So I got a sample first and yeah, the rest is history. I had to get the full bottle. I really fell in love with this fragrance. I understood that the hype was real. And this kind of started this whole small obsession with these Lactonic type of scents. Now, what am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about Blanche Bat from Le Liquid's Imaginaries. Yeah, the hype is real on this one. I really love it. It's such a different fragrance. It is so different to anything else. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, some notes in here are milk, there is tuberose, there is incense, there are some florals, vanilla, musk, tonka bean, whatever else. And it's just this beautiful, milky, creamy cloud. And I think it's the combination of milk and tuberose that really kind of create this vibe. I think these are the main notes responsible for this vibe. And I don't really get tuberose as a tuberose, like as an independent note. I really don't. It's just creates this really incredible creaminess. And it truly feels like some kind of, warm milk, but kind of better than that. It's hard to describe, in a way. This scent is cloud-like, like it just creates this cloud around you, and it sort of at first appears to be, quiet, not very strong, but in reality, this scent has an amazing scent trail. The scent trail is beautiful. It's quite strong. It just follows you around. So it doesn't just create this little bubble around you. It really follows you around. I mean, I don't think sandalwood is an actual note in here, but it definitely feels like sandalwood should be in here because it just has that kind of woody, creamy nature to it that's typically, attributed to sandalwood. I don't know. Whatever it is, it is special. It is a bit magical, and it is definitely very Lactonic, probably one of the most Lactonic fragrances that I have tried, and one of the most Lactonic fragrances on this list for sure. And I am absolutely crazy about this one. An amazing scent. Another one that's Lactonic and that's also new to my collection, but it's a fragrance that I have spoken about several times, and I've mentioned it on my wish list before as well. And I finally decided to pull the plug and get the full bottle. That is Remember Me from Jovoy. This scent, like I said, is also Lactonic. There is an actual note of milk in here. There's also, note of tea. There is cardamom. There are some spices. I think there could be some florals like frangipani or something else in here, some woody notes, etc. And this really smells like a spicy chai latte. Yeah, that's how it smells. I really love tea scents, and this is such a nice twist on a tea scent. I would never drink chai latte. I hate milk in my tea. I love just straight up black tea. That's my favorite. So I would not drink this, but I love how it smells. And cardamom is quite evident in here, but it's not overpowering. It never really overpowers the scent. And my skin tends to pull out cardamom quite strongly typically, but not in this case. I feel like spiciness from cardamom is really done in moderation, and it's this beautiful, beautiful combination of tea and milk mixed together, with a little bit of kind of vanillic sweetness and a little bit of woodiness supporting it. So yeah, I'm so glad to have this scent in my collection now. This, in all honesty, wasn't a love at first sniff, because I've had a sample or decant of this for a long time. And when I initially tried it, I liked it. I always liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't think that I needed or wanted to have a full bottle. And I would always come back to this decant and try it over and over again. Somehow I just kept getting pulled to it from time to time. And the more that I tried it and the more that I tested it, the more I fell in love with this scent. So yeah, Remember Me from Joy is a beautiful tea Lactonic type of scent. Well, since we talked about a tea scent, let's talk about a coffee scent. And that is Café Cabanel from Tio Cabanel. This one, to me, feels like probably some kind of latte from Starbucks. You have coffee, you have some cream in it, you might have a little bit of whipped cream, although I'm not sure. It's more like you maybe added a little bit of butter to it, because there is an actual note of butter, and it does have that really kind of thick, buttery texture. And there's also cinnamon in here, so the spice that's in here is cinnamon, and I do get it. There is a note of milk in here, I think, and there's vanilla and, a whole bunch of other notes. But yeah, this really feels like a delicious Starbucks drink, probably a latte, I don't know, maybe a macchiato, but for me, somehow it reminds me of a latte more because it's quite lactonic. Like lactonic buttery notes are pretty evident. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful coffee scent where the actual note of coffee is not very strong. Like if you're kind of, afraid of coffee notes, or you don't want to smell like coffee, the note of coffee, I would say, is quite subdued in this scent, because there are a lot of other notes that surround it and can kind of balance it out. So it's beautiful scent. I definitely highly recommend it. Now let's go in a completely different direction, and let's take a look at a tropical lactonic scent. And that is a fragrance that I cannot pronounce, but let's give it a shot. I'm sure I'm going to butcher it. Embercuya, I don't know. Essentially, this means passion fruit, and this is from Fuegia. What a stunning, sophisticated, lactonic, tropical type of scent. As with most Fuegia fragrances, there are 3 notes. There is passion fruit, there is milk, and there are citruses. And this really is this passion fruit that's, sweet, but not too sweet. Like it's very, the sweetness is very moderate in this case. And you do get this milk, but it's not, it's not heavy. It doesn't turn sour. It's not overpowering. It is this kind of beautiful light passion fruit mixed together with some kind of really light milky note. And, citruses give it a little bit more freshness, and it just comes up as a beautiful, beautiful combination. There is another scent that this might remind you of just based on the notes, and that is Cruz del Sur 2 from Xerjoff, where there are also some, tropical fruits mixed together with milk and, a lot of other notes. Based on the notes, they sound similar, but in reality, the way that they smell is very, very different. Xerjoff scent is quite heavy if compared to this one. And, the lactonic note is heavy in there. It can very often turn sour. It can be a little bit overpowering. not the case here. So even though the notes might seem similar, scents are quite different. So if you are looking for this interesting, tropical, exotic, slightly lactonic type of scent, then definitely take a look at this one. Next, I have a vanilla scent to share with you, and that is Vaniglia del Madagascar from I Profumi de Firenze. I think I said it right. Now, this is sort of a simple vanilla scent. It has vanilla, it has whipped cream, and lily of the valley. But, you know, this vanilla, it really feels very fluffy and kind of very milky and creamy. And I think it's because of the whipped cream. The creaminess is really kind of this lactonic creaminess in here. Not necessarily milky. It doesn't feel milky, but kind of creamy and lactonic. Lily of the Valley, I don't really get in here. To me, it's more like vanilla that kind of feels like vanilla ice cream. Like it has this ice creamy vibe. It's understated, it's beautiful, it's very warm, it's very fluffy, it's very cozy. Yeah, it's just a beautiful vanilla. Not very talked about, you know, but I've wanted to have this scent for a very long time, and finally found it a few months ago. And yeah, no regrets here. It's a beautiful lactonic kind of creamy vanilla. Now, the next one I've had in my collection for a long time, and that is Adults from Kilian. Now, this fragrance, I don't believe has an actual milk note. However, it does feel very lactonic to me. And I think it is because it has fig nectar, kind of that, you know, milky, creamy fig, because figs can be different. You know, sometimes in fragrances we get really kind of green figs, but in this case, it's very milky and creamy and sweet. And that's what I love about this fragrance. So, you know, in addition to that, there are some citruses, could be some florals, vanilla, sandalwood, you know, woody notes, whatever else. And yeah, it really feels like that milky, creamy fig that definitely has some freshness from citruses. You know, you have the base of sandalwood that is coming through as well. And, you know, for me, often fig and sandalwood can have sort of deathly combination that doesn't smell good at all. But in this case, I think because the fig is quite sweet, this works. This doesn't cross that kind of, you know, sickening line, which it could sometimes. So yeah, this scent has it all. It is creamy, it is lactonic, it is sweet, it is fresh, it is a little bit woody. Like all of these things are happening at the same time. And yeah, it's a lovely combination. So again, this is Adults from Kilian. Okay, next, let's talk about Joie de Peau from Serge Lutens. This is definitely lactonic as well. Now, this is a scent that has a bready vibe. It definitely smells like a freshly baked bread, but it also has lactonic quality in it as well. So some of the notes in here are wheat, there is milk, there is, I think, licorice, coconut, there's definitely vanilla, sandalwood, and some other notes. And yeah, like I've mentioned before, this is what I get. I get freshly baked loaf of bread, you know, fluffy on the inside, kind of crispy on the outside, and you're, you know, you cut yourself a slice of this freshly baked bread that is still a little bit warm, and you're having it with a glass of milk. So yeah, it's kind of delicious in, you know, delicious in a different way, because even though is vanilla here? I don't even know if vanilla is here, to be honest, but you know, this scent is not sweet. Like, to me, it's not sweet at all. And typically, you know, I say delicious when it comes to sweet scents, which this one is not. However, it is still delicious, kind of in a, I don't know, in kind of a savory, milky way, if that makes any sense. So Yeah, it's this scent is unique. This scent, I would say, not everyone will like because it's kind of very specific. Like I'm really getting bread, probably more than in any other fragrance because, I have tried and I have a number of other scents that have that bready vibe, and it is probably the strongest in this fragrance. So yeah, it's definitely not for everyone, but it's quite interesting, it's quite unique, and it's a special type of scent. And so very kind of interesting lactonic combination. Next, let's talk about a fragrance that has been talked about a lot. And for some reason, I ignored this fragrance. I ignored it. I don't know. I just, for some reason, wasn't drawn to it. I didn't think I was going to like it. And my friend Yulia sent me some samples to try recently. And this was one of the samples that she sent me. And boy, I loved it. I really, really loved it. And I will most likely have to get a full bottle of this one. Now, here's the sample that I have, and this is Milk from Commodity. And I think what really kind of made me not want to get interested in these fragrances is because I find their system a little bit strange and a little bit confusing, honestly. Like every scent that they have, I don't know what they call it exactly, but they have like 3 versions. There is the personal, there is bold, and the one in the middle is expressive, I think. I don't know. Like, what is that all about? Why do we have 3 versions? I don't know. I'm not quite sure that I'm on board with that system, but this fragrance is pretty amazing. So I believe that this one is the middle one, the expressive one, I think, the one that doesn't have minus or plus, just the regular milk. I really didn't expect much from this fragrance. I really didn't, but I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. Like really, it's beautiful and it's pretty simple, to be honest. Like it has milk, marshmallow, musk, tonka, and mahogany wood. Seems pretty simple. And you definitely get a milky lactonic quality right away. Like there is no denying that this fragrance is about milk. As soon as you spray it, like even if you didn't know the name, you would know right away that this is about milk. The interesting thing is that what I also get with this fragrance is kind of spiciness, the type of spiciness that I would typically get from saffron. Like again, if I didn't see the notes, I would bet that this fragrance had saffron in it because that's what I get, especially in the opening. As it develops on the skin and really dries down, that spiciness sort of diminishes. Like it never goes away completely, but it definitely becomes less noticeable. But for the first few hours, yeah, I definitely get some kind of spiciness. Perhaps it's coming from, I don't know, tonka, mahogany wood, I don't know. But to me, really, it smells like there is saffron in here. I don't know. And so, yeah, milk is evident right away. And, definitely it is very sweet. And as the fragrance develops, more and more sweetness is coming out. So yeah, marshmallow definitely coming out. So in the deep dry down, it's really a lot of sweetness with a lot of lactonic qualities, very comforting scent. And comforting and addictive at the same time. Like when I tested this, and I tested it a few times, I just wanted to keep smelling myself over and over again. And at first sort of glance, let's put it this way, I haven't tested it out properly to really give you, my full opinion on the performance. But at first glance, it seems like performance is quite decent. Yeah, better than I expected as well. But the scent profile is definitely beautiful. Nothing complicated, and yet there's something, like I said, so warm and so addictive about it. So yeah, I think this one is really, really great. And there might be a full bottle coming to my collection soon. And let's end this list with 2 delicious sweet lactonic scents. The first one being Lavandis Trianon from Maison Lancôme. Now, this one has milk, vanilla, and lavender. And this smells like sugar cookie sprinkled with lavender that, again, you're having with a glass of milk. Milk is not very strong in this fragrance, I would say. It kind of gives you faint hints of this milk, but it's not very strong for sure. Kind of this sweet sugar cookie with lavender overpowers the scent a little bit and makes a lactonic quality less noticeable, but it is still there. Now, I've mentioned recently in a video that kind of in recent times, this scent has become a little bit too much for me. You know, I sort of find it a bit overpowering and a bit cloying. Yeah, unfortunately, that is still the case. But if you asked me like a year or two ago, I would have said, this is an amazing scent. This is one of my favorites. So, you know, our tastes constantly change. At least for me, they change all the time. So I have a feeling that, you know, this is something that I just need to put away for a while, not use for now because I'm not enjoying it at the moment. But I think this has the type of scent profile that I'm definitely going to come back to, that I'm going to enjoy again in the future. So, you know, it is standing for now and it is waiting until I start enjoying this scent again. And of course, let's end with the absolutely best delicious lactonic scent. Well, yeah, what can be better than Italica from Xerjoff? I mean, what an outstanding gourmand and so unique. So there are some notes of almond, toffee, vanilla, there is saffron, and of course there is a note of milk. And this one definitely smells like this amazing almond cookie, like really sort of high-end, expensive almond cookie that was made in some very high-end restaurant, you know, and you're having it again with some type of milk or something, or it has some, I don't know, cream or whatever added to it. So there's definitely some lactonic vibes coming from here as well. And in here, it's just the combination, you know, of almond and toffee and vanilla and milk. They just create such an interesting combination, so unusual. Again, I have never smelled anything similar to this. You know, I often look on Fragrantica and I see some other fragrances being compared to this one. And, you know, I've tried some of them and yeah, I don't think so. I've never tried anything else that comes anywhere close to this fragrance. So yeah, this one is pretty amazing. I love it. Every time that I use it, I love it. My husband always compliments me on this one. He always recognizes this scent more than any other. It is truly so unique that it always stands out. So yeah, Italica from Xerjoff, if you're looking for a really sweet gourmand lactonic scent, I think there is nothing better than this one. So these are my favorite lactonic fragrances that contain milk or that give off a vibe of milk. Please let me know, do you enjoy those types of scents? And if you do, what are your favorites? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment. And I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.